The most nutrient-dense food for hair growth in women over 40. By the age of 50, nearly 40% of women experience hair loss, most commonly due to something called female pattern hair loss. In today's video, we're going to talk about why so many of us starting losing our hair beginning in our 40s, and what's the number one food that we can eat to support our hair growth from the inside out. Hair growth is a luxury function. It can only start growing when everything else in our body is stable. And by the age of 40, there are a few key shifts happening in our body, and they are all signaling to us that it's not the time to grow hair. First, let's talk about hormones. Estrogen and progesterone begin to decline in our 40s. These hormones protect the hair follicle and keep them in growth phase. And when they decline, this shortens the cycle and more hair begins to shed. On the other hand, androgens like DHT may be stable or even rises. DHT shrinks the follicle and thins the strand over time, and that's why hair loss usually starts in the crown or the part line. Now let's talk about stress, especially cortisol. When our body is under long-term stress, cortisol level stays high, and this has several severe downstream effects. It breaks down protein, including keratin, which builds our hair. It raises blood sugar and inflammation, and it suppresses thyroid function, which slows hair growth. And if cortisol crashes after burnout, trauma, prolonged exhaustion, this can often trigger autoimmune patterns like alopecia. This is not just emotional, it's our body going into energy conservation mode. Lastly, nutrient absorption. Here's the thing, although many of the foods that we are eating are well, our body may not still get enough nutrients that it needs. Why? It's not because of the food is bad, it might because it's not getting absorbed properly. Low stomach acid, poor bowel movements, or inflammation. This all affects the absorption of important things like iron, zinc, biotin, histidine, and B vitamins. And when estrogen drops, our digestion slows down even more. So you could be doing everything right, but your body can still be undernourished at the cellular level. That's why when we talk about hair loss for women, especially in our 40s, we're not just talking about vanity, we're talking about stress physiology, hormone decline, and malabsorption. The system that used to support hair growth are now going to conserve energy. So, hair growth is not just about eating enough protein or taking a supplement. It is a result of a fine tuned system where nutrients, hormones, absorption, and metabolism all work in harmony together. And by the age of 40, this system becomes fragile. Our nutrient needs increases, our digestion slows down, and our body prioritizes survival over things like hair growth. And here is what researchers show for hair regeneration. Histidine. This amino acid is critical for making keratin, the structural protein in your hair. And deficiency have been found in over 90% of people with alopecia. Number two, zinc and copper. These minerals help regulate the hair growth cycle, but too little or too much can disrupt the follicle signaling. Iron and ferritin. Iron delivers oxygen to our hair follicles. Low ferritin, this is our iron storage marker, is one of the most common and overlooked causes of diffuse hair loss in women. B6, folate, and biotin. These B vitamins are needed for our DNA synthesis, energy production, and the health of keratin producing cells. Without them, our hair can't grow efficiently. But here's the deeper truth. Even the nutrients may be present in our diet, it does not guarantee that our body absorb them properly or use them. Low stomach acid, common after 40s, can block the absorption of protein, iron, and minerals. Chronic stress depletes B vitamins and disrupts their conversion into usable forms. And hormonal shifts reroute the nutrients from non essential functions such as hair growth. So the issue might not be a lack of nutrients, but our body's ability to digest, absorb, and utilize them. That's why surface level solutions usually do not work. And now that we understand hair growth requires four key factors: bioavailable protein, key cofactors such as iron, copper, zinc, and B vitamins, hormonal balances, and a digestive system that can absorb it all. So, is there one food that can support it all? Naturally, effectively, and without a dozen of supplement? And the answer is yes. And it might not be the thing you've been told to prioritize. The most nutrient dense food for hair growth in women over 40 is grass fed beef liver. I know, I know, before you're going to judge, here is what science and decades of clinical nutrition actually shows. It's the richest natural source of bioavailable iron and B vitamins. Low ferritin is one of the top contributors to hair thinning. Liver contains heme iron, easier to absorb than plant based forms, plus B12, folate, and B6, which are required for DNA replication for hair follicles, mitochondria energy production, and healthy red blood cell formation. And is packed with histidine, the critical amino acid for keratin. Keratin is the structural protein for our hair, and histidine also helps regulate zinc and copper, the two vital minerals for follicle signaling and strength. It also contains retinol, an active form of vitamin A. Retinol is essential for epithelial tissue repair, including scalp and follicle health. Unlike beta carotene from plants, retinol does not require conversion, which is great for people who are impaired with thyroid dysfunction or genetic variations. It also provides coenzyme Q10 and choline. This nutrient supports mitochondrial function, methylation, and detox systems that affect hormone metabolism and cellular repair. And they're often depleted by stress, low fat diets, or aging. And it's easily absorbed and immediately used by our body. And for women over 40s, digestion and absorption actually matter more than just intake. And liver delivers exactly that, especially when our gut health is compromised. And if you're not convinced yet, I got you. Here are some ways that you can incorporate into your diet because it's only powerful when you can actually eat it. And for many, this is actually the hardest part, I know, because the texture, the taste, the smell, and the idea of it. But here's the good news too: 1 to 2 ounces twice a week is enough to restore critical nutrients like B12, iron, folate, and vitamin A. And here are 5 simple ways that you can make it part of your life. Number one, blend it in. 1 part of liver and 4 parts of ground beef. You can use this for patty, meatballs, bolognese sauce, and tacos. And I promise you, the taste won't be off and your body will thank you. Number two, what we commonly do in China: pair it with warming herbs like ginger, star anise, and clove. Slow cook beef liver is very tender and flavorful and is perfect for the cold days. Or number three, grilled it just like what Turkish do. Thinly slice, marinate with olive oil, garlic, and spices, then sear it over a charcoal or a pan. Serve with fresh lemon, stomach onions, and warm flatbread. This turns liver into something delicious, craveable. And if you're not the biggest fan to prepare them and eat them, then here are the 2 methods for you. If sourced safely, grass fed, and frozen for 14 plus days, you can cube this raw liver and take it like a supplement. Lastly, go for the capsules. Freeze dried, grass fed beef liver capsule is a great option if truly the taste is a deal breaker. And of course, look for 100% liver without additives or fillers. And if beef liver is not available or you truly can't do the taste, here are some great alternative options. Lamb liver, milder in taste and is still great in nutrients such as zinc, copper, and B vitamins. Chicken liver is much more affordable and easier to find, but it's lower slightly in vitamin A. Desiccated liver supplements are freeze-dried, grass-fed with no fillers and no additives. You're not failing if you don't like the taste. What matters most is you find what works for you. On top of liver, to optimize your hair growth after 40s, it's also important to optimize absorption, hormone balance, and stress regulation. Low stomach acid is pretty common for women after 40s, especially during perimenopause and menopause, and it blocks the absorption of zinc, iron, and protein. And here is a quick fix. Drink 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water before meals. This will help greatly. Number two, regulate cortisol and protect protein reserves. Chronically elevated cortisol can break down protein, including keratin, which is the building block for our hair. It also depletes B vitamins and shut down thyroid functions. So prioritize blood sugar stabilization, deep sleeps, and nervous system care, such as morning sunlight exposure, walking, and breath work. And number three, don't fear the cholesterol. Your hormones, especially your sex hormones, are all made from cholesterol. Liver is rich in bioavailable cholesterol, but it works even better when it's paired with pasteurized raised egg yolks, which is rich in choline and B vitamins, grass-fed butter for fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K2, sardines and shellfish, full of zinc, selenium, and omega 3s. Recent meta-analysis confirms that cholesterol from whole foods is not associated with the risk of cardiovascular diseases in women. And if you want a deeper dive of the number one food for all menopause symptoms, then watch this video here. Hair loss is not just about what's on the scalp, but actually what's in our body, because this is a signal that our body is under pressure for a little while. Maybe it's due to nutrient depletion, chronic stress, hormonal shifts, blood sugar instability, or sleep. And your hair is responding to all of that. That's why surface level treatment does not work. Not because they're doing something wrong, because they're not targeting the right issue. Restoring your hair also means restoring the harmony of your hormone, your metabolism, your digestion, and your nervous system, because they all work together. And when your body is deeply nourished at the cellular level, your hair will reflect just as that.